to be. It's all an illusion. Everything you see ain't reality. It's all an illusion. Maybe we're just dreaming away. It's all an illusion. The only thing real is what we feel. Greetings, everyone. This is your girl LaSage, and it was put on my spirit today to talk about how fear and control become the enemies to our beingness, to the wild woman, to the fool, to the sage, to our inner guru. Those things are enemies because they block awareness, because our natural instincts, where it's telling us to stay away from something, we're actually creating a barrier. We're creating a barrier between us and that which is here for our consumption. And that's expanded awareness, right? Expanded awareness brings us more pleasurable experiences. They bring us more joy. But at the same time, we have a full experience as humans, right? So we're existing on multiple levels, and we're experiencing things in the reality that we're tuned into. So the reality that you're in right now, that you are attuned to the frequency of that reality. So all the things that you're experiencing in this version of you, those are the things that you are attuned to. So these are things that are going to be in your awareness, right? And if you try to control what's coming through in that reality, what happens is you get a chaos and you get a mess. And when you are trying to have control over the things that's coming to you, right? What happens is that you actually lose control. Your energy starts leaking the things that your soul is trying to bring through, right? Your consciousness is trying to bring certain things through. However, you're ignoring it, but not intentionally. It's because there is something that's going on in the switch in your mind, right? In your physical reality. It's in the switch of your mind that your body remembers and that your body wants to survive, right? So it remembers, okay, let's be in survival mode. Let's get right. How does it get you to submit to it, right? Fear is a tool of the ego, okay? And it gets you to submit to it and be in fear. And that allows you to have the illusion of control. But it's all an illusion. Real control is when you actually surrender. And a friend said it today to me best, is love is the energy that causes you to surrender. This is true. This feels true. Does it feel true to you? Love causes you to surrender. You can get the same results, right? You can get a person to either submit to you in fear, which is what a lot of parenting styles do, or you can get them to surrender to love. That is the highest form and the highest vibration. The other day, I was watching a video and it talked about what high frequency versus low frequency. And I thought it was a great illustration. So I'm going to illustrate that to you right now. Okay. So, let me get rid of this. You have a line. And these are our 3 lines. These are the different frequencies, the different, let's call these truth lines, right? Truth, truth, truth. This is your vibration when you're in fear, when you're trying to control things that are not in your control, when you're not in awareness, right? This is a slower vibration. Now notice how the amount of times that your vibration hits truth. So you come into truth right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. So all of between this, you're not in tune with the truth. You're only seeing the perception, right? I'm left-handed, kind of ambidextrous. So this, when you're vibrating a little higher, but not the highest that you can go, right? So now notice how much more often it hits the truth line. So when it hits this truth line, these are the moments where you're experiencing the truth. And this, we're going to put P for perception. Actually, we're going to put this at the bottom so we can have space for the high vibration. All right? So you're living your life, you're vibrating, you're living on this particular vibration. You're always, period, you're going to go in and out of moments of truth, right? We're going to have that experience. So you have to allow yourself to have that experience, because in the times that you're not experiencing truth, you're actually gaining a broader perception on life, on people, other people's experiences, your own experience. Then you have the experience, then you come back up to truth. You experience that truth, right? So then we come here and we're in high vibration, right? See, just trying to even look how much more often you're coming into truth, right? I could be sitting here making these circles all day and you're just experiencing more moments of truth. So when you're high vibrational, it does not mean that you don't have moments where you're out of truth, right? You just have moments where your frequency changes, where your frequency is going through its natural process, right? The ebb and flow. It's flowing, and you allow yourself to flow. If the energy of the wild woman, the energy of the fool, the energy of those archetypes are that in which we're allowing ourselves to experience the energies that come to us that we need to express. So when you're having a relationship with someone, you're having an energy exchange with someone, right? And you allow the natural course of the energy to come up and be and exist in that moment that's within you, right? The control is you actually surrendering to the love that is within you. What is love saying to do right now? What is that energy telling you to do and be, right? And when you become this, then you act in that in which you already are. And you're vibrating on that higher frequency. And you're having more moments of, okay, I'm allowing this to come through. This person gets the lesson if they're open, but you're not responsible for that, right? You're only responsible for your beingness, and that's the only thing that you can control, right, is your own self, your own response, your own beingness, right? The other person, if they don't get it, they don't get it. It's okay. You lived in your truth. The experience was had. They will get another opportunity. You will get more opportunities to stand in your truth. And it will happen for you more often when you are aware of these moments of truth. When you're aware that, okay, this is happening to me, or this is not happening to me, this is happening for me. I'm having an experience. I'm in observation. This is how I am feeling. It doesn't make it true that I'm having this emotion and that I'm perceiving that this is the reason why I'm having this emotion. It doesn't make it true. But the awareness brings you in touch with the truth. And you have that truth more often, right? When you're in awareness with that truth, that is the beauty of the ebb and flow. You come into those moments of appreciation, right? When you fear what comes out of you, when you fear your power, your superpowers, when you fear the limitless being that you are, that's trying to come through, because it's not going to control you. You actually have to surrender or submit, one or the other. What are you willing to do? It is your will, right? No one can make you do anything against your will. That is one thing that we as humans technically have, is free will. But that is also an illusion, right? Because it's like a dichotomy. It's like almost, if you choose the opposite of that which you are, if you choose fear and you choose to try to gain control and you become unstable. I love the way it was explained on Man Who Fell to the Earth. Go watch that. It's on Showtime. You can get it on Prime, Showtime through Prime, whatever. It is a dope show if you really allow yourself to be in tune with what is happening. Then you can see all the intricacies that is making people aware of, or is bringing to your awareness or others' awareness, right? This free will to move into, if you submit to your fears and to ego, right? You have free will to do that, right? But when you do, there's a thing called cause and effect. There's a law, a universal law called cause and effect, and you are causing this thing to happen to you based on your fear. But what happens when you surrender to love and you express that which you are surrendering to, right? Because if you're submitting to fear, then you're gonna express that in your beingness, right? And then you're going to use fear to motivate the people around you so that you don't have to experience feeling out of control. But in essence, you're actually creating that. And you're creating more and more of it because you're resisting the surrender of love. You're using your will to resist. Now, when you surrender to love, then you start to bring experiences, which is more of that. And you don't have the need to be in control. Now, there will be moments where you're in and out, right? You're a human. You're going to have these human emotions that awareness is what matters in all of this. My friend will always say awareness is key, right? Awareness is key because as long as you're aware, you can exist in the space of the sage, the inner guru. You can allow those things to come through and guide you through your human experience that you're having. Because remember that you are a spirit. You are soul having a human experience. You're not a human having a soul, a spiritual experience. You're not having that. Okay? So as you exist with your soul, you're tapping into this higher frequency. And when you tap into that frequency, you allow the sage and the inner guru to come through and guide you more and more. The surrendering to the love. You're now motivating others around you through love, not through fear, right? A lot of spiritual teachers I see online, right? They are using fear to get people to submit to their soul, right? I get your point. I get that when you came into that moment of truth, it shared with you the importance of being in touch with your own soul, right? You got that message. However, when you went out of truth and you got into ego, you used, because your vibration is on a fearful vibration and you're having less and less moments, spiritual teacher might be somewhere in here sometimes, too. And remember, you're not coming into truth as often. So in these moments that you're not experiencing truth, but you're not really in awareness because you are allowing ego you've submitted to your ego in those moments, right? So you're motivating your students to what? Do things out of fear. That's what religion does. Don't have people leave their religions only to come in and experience the same thing. You're fear-mongering, right? Allow your awareness to see that. And this is what I see often. It's like, okay, if I don't get right, then this is going to happen to me. And you start fearing so much that you're actually losing control. It is inevitable. So in those moments of awareness and you find yourself having a disruption in your energy, ask yourself, am I moving? Am I submitting to the fears and the doubts within me? Or am I surrendering to the love in which I am, which I already am? There's nothing you have to try to be. Just surrender to that which you are, which is love. Or you can submit to your human self, which is ego, which has a limit and it has a ceiling. And it's not glass, right? It has a ceiling, a cemented, whatever can't even be penetrated. Not even cement. We need something, find me an element to put there that can't be broken through. That is the ceiling on following your ego. And that's why the world is in the position that the world is in, is because we've allowed these egotistical leaders to run our nations. And we've allowed the media, and we've allowed people to fearmonger us into submitting to their realities, their what they want for the world, right? It might start off as a genuine mission, like when someone becomes a politician or they become these things wanting to help make a difference, a positive difference, right? But they get lost along the way because then they become aware of the issues, and the deeper they get, they see, oh man, we have to manage this. We have to figure out how to control people because otherwise they're not going to get in line. Oh, Okay. So when you're trying to figure out how to control things, control people, what happens is you start to become a manipulator, a liar, a cheater. These things, it's just domino effect. And then you can't even recognize yourself. You have given off pieces of your soul, just dropped them along the way. You can always follow the crumb trail back to love, right? Just surrender. But the deeper you get into the abyss, the harder it is to come back, right? And so they enter it with these good intentions. That's why they say hell is paved with good intentions, right? Hell is what you create for you on earth, in your realities, what you're creating for you. You experience hell when you create that for yourself. And then you can't even see, how am I creating this for myself? And you get into this victim mentality. And you start rejecting when people we're really expressing to you how you're creating it for yourself, right? But you get afraid, like, hold on, if I'm creating this, like, well, what about, you start asking about children and, all these other things. And when you allow yourself to get in tune with truth, then the questions can be answered for you. But what your soul needs is what's truly going to bring you the answers that you need right in that moment. A lot of times we deflect from what is really happening, and we try to put it off on others, and we blame others for our experiences. But the higher you can see your experience, the more awareness that you have about your experiences, the more you see, obviously, right? And the more possibilities and perceptions that you see that could be happening all at one time. The more levels that you start to see. And the more you see that it's not as black and white as you thought it was. And the more you see that the higher truth to this is that this has been brought to your awareness so that you can raise your vibration, right? Raise your frequency so that you can then surrender to love. Because all of these things that you're experiencing, they're only barriers that you're creating for yourself along the way. And then once you set up these barriers, they're there. Think about an obstacle course. You have all of these barriers, and you're creating this obstacle course as you go. Oh, I now want to surrender to love, and I want to surrender to my inner guru. But then you've created all these obstacles, right? So now you got to jump over all of these, coming back over on this side of the spectrum. But guess what? It's okay. Because it doesn't have to be really hard to break those barriers, right? Because once you surrender to love, love comes and knocks them down for you. But you have to truly surrender and relinquish control. Stop trying to control all of your experience. Stop it. It's not going to work. I promise you, it's not. Surrender. All right? I wrote something. I guess I'll go ahead and read it because I don't know if you can see it. It looks kind of blurry. Let me see. So, this has become my motto. It came to my spirit a couple weeks ago, and it was definitely what I needed. So it says, stop censoring yourself, right? This is a personal message. You aren't trying to harm others. Your intentions are high. Trust that what comes from you is divine. Learn to practice holding your space. Others can't tell you what you already know for your path. Yes, some unknowingly and non-maliciously have their own intentions for you. That was actually an answer to a question that I was having, right? And it was around the energy that, you know, people come to you and they are knowledgeable in spirit in certain ways, right? And they might tell you things that you need. They might tell you what is good, right? They might confirm something that your spirit has already shared with you, right? But they also are sharing things that your spirit has not said to you. And because you have given your power away to them and given them authority over your spirit, because you're submitting to their every word and what they tell you, because you trust their authority and their knowledge over your own inner knowledge, right? Over your own connection with the divine, the highest. You have entrusted that to that person. That means you've given your power away. And so then you start to become unhinged and unstable because you've given your power to that person. That is the mistake that many people make in therapy situations, in guru situations. They start to depend on that thing that is outside of them, instead of taking what is needed, right, and using those things to cultivate their own relationship with their inner self. They are now dependent upon this outside person. And every moment that you're depending on that person, your power is just being handed over on a platter. So when that happens, you get uprooted and your path starts to become chaotic and a little hectic, right? And you start to feel all these conflicting emotions. It's because the you that is your spirit that's trying to come through is guiding you one way, yet this spirit is guiding you another way. Even myself, in coaching others, I advise to trust your own spirit. Because yes, I might see something. Yes, I might say something. Yes, I might express something that I'm intuitively guided to express, right? Or I might be an ego at some point. I do my best to make sure that I'm not. But I still am existing in this human plane. And I still am coming into contact with different energies. And I still am susceptible to certain energies. Yes, I can transmute them. Yes, I can cleanse them. But not at all times am I on this truth line, right? So you have to make sure you are able to fill in the gap in that which this other person is having and that which your soul is coming in to feel right then and telling you what it is that you need. But when you surrender to that other person, you're ignoring your soul and you're just pushing it back. So, as always, your soul thanks you for tuning in. Unlock your inner guru. That is the only thing that any of us should really be concerned about, is unlocking our inner guru so that we can allow who we are to come through, our beingness. What that looks like, this is your journey. All right? I am so thankful to your soul that you made it to the end of this video. As you know, I am an advocate for following the inner guru, okay? So if your inner guru is guiding you to set up a more personalized session with me, one-on-one, then you do that. Don't hesitate. Go to ahealersplayground.com and you can set up a Reiki energy healing session, hypnotherapy session. We can do a personal clarity reading or full spiritual advisement session. Either way, go on there, choose. You can also purchase my book at booksbylasage.com. You can also go to Amazon. It's called Don't Fuck Yourself, Love Yourself, and it's under LaDonna Banfield. Thank you for your time. I love you. Go be great. And remember to always follow your inner guru over whatever anybody else says.